The View co-host Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud.
Sunny Hostin, her husband accused of committing federal insurance fraud in a lawsuit.
In a shocking moment that left viewers and insiders buzzing, Sunny Hostin found herself at the center of an explosive controversy during a recent episode of The View. The incident began innocently enough, another spirited debate among the co-hosts that the show is so well known for. But things took a dramatic turn when Hostin made a comment that not only raised eyebrows but led to an unprecedented backlash from the live audience. It wasn't just a minor hiccup on the show. It was an eruption that has since dominated headlines and social media platforms.
According to the documents, he knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries.
As the conversation steered into politically charged territory, Hostin, known for her sharp opinions and unapologetic candor, made a statement that many in the audience perceived as divisive. While the exact wording of her remarks remains hotly debated, insiders suggest that it was aimed at a segment of the population in a way that struck a nerve. The live audience, typically supportive or at least polite, reacted in a way that stunned even the most seasoned producers. Boos began to ripple through the studio, growing louder as Hostin attempted to continue speaking. It was a moment of palpable tension, the kind of live television drama that you can't script but that leaves everyone scrambling to recover. For context, The View has long been a platform where controversial opinions are not only encouraged, but expected. The show thrives on its ability to spark debates and tap into the cultural zeitgeist, often pushing boundaries. But this time, it seemed Hostin may have taken it too far, at least in the eyes of many audience members. As the camera panned to capture the crowd's reaction, the expressions of disapproval were unmistakable. Gasps, head shaking, and visible discomfort filled the room, with some audience members audibly voicing their dissatisfaction. It was clear that Hostin had hit a raw nerve, and the energy in the studio shifted from lively debate to outright tension.
This is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York. You guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia.
As the boos intensified, something unprecedented happened. Hostin visibly struggled to maintain composure. Her co-hosts, including Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar, exchanged nervous glances, clearly unsure of how to diffuse the situation. While Goldberg, ever the professional, tried to steer the conversation to a safer topic, Hostin doubled down, defending her remarks and attempting to explain her perspective. This only seemed to escalate the backlash, with social media lighting up almost instantaneously. Clips of the moment began circulating online within minutes, and the hashtags tied to the incident trended for hours afterward.
Oh, he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange.
Fans of The View were quick to weigh in on platforms like X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, many of them expressing disappointment and frustration. "I've always loved Sunny for her bold takes, but this was just too much," one user wrote, echoing the sentiments of many others. Another commented, "This is why I stopped watching The View. They've lost touch with their audience." The response wasn't limited to casual viewers either. Prominent figures in media and entertainment weighed in to criticize or defend Hostin's comments, adding fuel to the fire. What made this incident even more notable was the way insiders from the show reportedly reacted behind the scenes. According to sources close to the production, tensions among the co-hosts have been simmering for months, and this moment only exacerbated existing rifts. Rumors suggest that some of Hostin's colleagues feel her increasingly controversial takes are putting the show at risk of alienating its core audience. There's a fine line between sparking debate and outright offending people, one insider reportedly said. Sunny has crossed that line more than once, and it's becoming a problem. The producers of The View, known for their strategic handling of on-air drama, now face a difficult challenge: how to address the controversy without further inflaming tensions. While no official statement has been released yet, whispers from behind the scenes suggest that meetings are being held to determine how best to move forward. This isn't just about one comment, another source revealed. It's about the direction of the show and how far they're willing to go for ratings.
For your stuff, let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures.
Interestingly, this isn't the first time Hostin has faced backlash for her outspoken views. Over the years, she's developed a reputation as a polarizing figure, beloved by some for her fearless honesty and criticized by others for her perceived lack of tact. But even by her own standards, this incident seems to have struck a particularly sensitive chord. Some fans have pointed out that while bold opinions are part of what makes The View engaging, there's an expectation of balance and respect that wasn't met this time. The fallout from this moment has also reignited discussions about the role of The View in today's media landscape. Once celebrated as a groundbreaking platform for diverse perspectives, the show's recent controversies have led some to question whether it has lost its way. Critics argue that the show has become more about generating viral moments and less about fostering meaningful dialogue. Others, however, defend it as a reflection of the increasingly polarized times we live in, where even casual conversations can become contentious. Amidst all this, Hostin herself has remained relatively quiet, at least publicly. While she has not issued a formal apology or clarification, sources close to her suggest that she stands by her remarks and is prepared to weather the storm. Sunny's not the type to back down, one insider claimed. She believes in what she said, and she's not going to let public opinion dictate her stance. Whether this approach will help or hurt her in the long run remains to be seen. Adding another layer to the story is the reaction from industry insiders, many of whom have their own takes on how The View should handle the situation. Some argue that the show should lean into the controversy, using it as an opportunity to spark even more conversation and boost ratings. Others believe that a more cautious approach is necessary, given the risk of alienating advertisers and longtime viewers. Whatever the case, it's clear that this incident has put a spotlight on the challenges of navigating controversial topics in a live, unscripted format.
Totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips.
I know you
do.
do. It's like twice a day.
Here's all I hear from her. America's violent, America's racist, America's bad. Okay.
As the dust begins to settle, one thing is certain: the fallout from this moment will have ripple effects far beyond a single episode. Fans, critics, and insiders alike are now watching closely to see how The View and Sunny Hostin handle the aftermath. Will the show make changes to its format or tone in response to the backlash? Will Hostin herself face any consequences, either from within the show or from broader public opinion? These are the questions that remain unanswered, and they're likely to fuel discussion for weeks to come. The incident also raises larger questions about the role of media in shaping public discourse. Are shows like The View responsible for striking a balance between provocation and respect? Or is their primary goal simply to entertain and engage? And how should public figures like Hostin navigate the fine line between speaking their truth and considering the potential impact of their words? These are the kinds of debates that moments like this inevitably spark, and they're part of what makes The View such a fascinating and, at times, controversial show. As the conversation continues to unfold, it's worth noting that this moment may not be an isolated one. Hostin's history of controversial remarks, combined with her unapologetic approach, suggests that she's unlikely to shy away from future debates. Whether this will ultimately strengthen her brand as a fearless commentator or lead to further tensions within The View remains to be seen. For now, all eyes are on Hostin and the show as they navigate this latest storm, with plenty of speculation about what might happen next. And with that, the stage is set for an even deeper dive into the controversies that have shaped Hostin's career and the ongoing debate about her role on The View.
On that panel, she is self-appointed, she knows everything. It's great to see her ego take this hit, but I think it will be short-lived.
It's amazing to listen to her talk about.
The controversy surrounding Sunny Hostin didn't end with the audience backlash during that fateful episode of The View. If anything, it was just the beginning of a deeper dive into the polarizing figure's past, unearthing a series of legal troubles and scandals that have followed her like a shadow. And let's be honest, nothing adds fuel to a celebrity controversy quite like whispers of lawsuits, high-stakes courtroom drama, and allegations that blur the lines between personal life and public persona. So let's dig into the mess that has been unfolding behind closed doors and spilling into headlines. Buckle up, because Sunny's story is way more tangled than most people realize.
Sunny Hostin of The View, who's constantly raging about race and reparations and how bad America is and its racial past and all this stuff.
One of the most talked about legal dramas tied to Sunny Hostin revolves around her husband, Drew Emanuel Hostin. The pair have always presented themselves as a power couple, Sunny, the sharp-tongued legal expert and TV personality, and Emanuel, a respected orthopedic surgeon. But things took a dramatic turn when Emanuel became embroiled in a colossal insurance fraud lawsuit. The case, filed by American Transit, a company primarily serving rideshare drivers, has been described as one of the largest RICO cases ever brought forward in New York. Yes, you heard that right. RICO. the kind of legal action that you usually associate with organized crime and big-time corruption. According to the 698-page complaint, Emmanuel Hostin, along with nearly 200 other defendants, is accused of knowingly providing fraudulent medical services, including unnecessary surgeries, and then billing American Transit for those procedures. The allegations go even deeper, suggesting that these fraudulent activities were part of a broader scheme involving kickbacks disguised as dividends or other financial perks. Essentially, the insurance company claims Emmanuel and others exploited New York's no-fault insurance laws, which are meant to cover medical expenses regardless of fault in an accident. But American Transit alleges that these laws were manipulated to rack up millions in fraudulent claims. The numbers being thrown around are jaw-dropping, compensatory damages estimated at over $150 million, with the possibility of treble damages under the RICO statute, pushing the total claim to nearly $500 million. That's not just pocket change.
Emmanuel denied the allegations via a statement through his lawyer, telling Daily Mail that his client, quote, denies each and every allegation and that the lawsuit is a blanket, scattershot, meritless lawsuit.
And here's where it gets even messier. Sunny Hostin has not held back in defending her husband. In a fiery statement, she slammed American Transit, calling the lawsuit frivolous and accusing the company of being on the verge of bankruptcy. According to Sunny, the insurance company is using her celebrity status to spin a disgusting media smear campaign against her husband and their family. She's even gone as far as threatening a $5 million counter lawsuit for defamation. Our family will not be intimidated or harassed, she declared, adding that they remain unbowed despite the allegations. But let's not forget, this isn't the only time Sunny has been in the legal hot seat.
So we know Sunny Hostin and her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, are preparing for a legal battle to fight accusations that he committed federal insurance fraud.
The Hostin family isn't new to controversy, and Sunny herself has had her fair share of public disputes. One case that has gained significant traction is the rumored lawsuit involving First Lady Melania Trump. According to multiple sources, Melania allegedly filed a defamation suit against The View, with Sunny Hostin being one of the primary targets. The rumors stem from a series of remarks Sunny made on air where she speculated about Melania's personal life and relationship with Donald Trump. While some saw her comments as harmless banter, others believe they crossed the line into defamatory territory. And let's just say, if the rumors of a $900 million lawsuit are true, Melania clearly didn't take the comments lightly.
Anna went in a different direction. But I love the fact that, you know, Manny is younger and he's
How much younger is he?
Just a little bit.
He's like 1 year, isn't he? Like a month or a year or 10 years? Or
5 years. It's more than a year.
Oh.
Anyway, it's not about...
For a moment, let's rewind to one of the episodes that reportedly sparked this legal firestorm. Sunny, never one to mince words, claimed on air that Melania hates Donald Trump and suggested that she was actively working to undercut his presidential campaign. She doesn't want to be the first lady anymore, Sunny said, going on to accuse Melania of sabotaging Trump by adopting public stances that clashed with his policies. She destroyed the Rose Garden, she hates Christmas, and she doesn't even sleep in the same room as him, Sunny added, with her trademark blend of sarcasm and conviction. While Whoopi Goldberg tried to remind Sunny to use the word allegedly, the damage was already done. The comments went viral, sparking a heated debate about whether Sunny had overstepped. But it didn't end there. Sunny doubled down, suggesting that Melania's recent remarks on reproductive rights were a calculated move to distance herself from Trump's anti-abortion stance. I think this is her way of undercutting his bid for the presidency, because then she doesn't have to deal with him anymore, Sunny speculated. This, of course, only fanned the flames. Melania's camp has remained tight-lipped about the alleged lawsuit, but the rumors alone have been enough to keep the story alive in the media.
We haven't seen her, and her description of Donald Trump doesn't track with the reality of what we've seen. And I can't relate to the marriage or if they're even in the same place at the same time. So I don't think that's the way.
And if you thought things couldn't get more complicated, think again. Sunny's outspoken nature has also landed her in hot water with fans and colleagues alike. Her on-air comments about uneducated white women voting for Donald Trump during the 2024 election sparked outrage, with many accusing her of being divisive and out of touch. In another instance, she referred to Trump as a DEI hire, suggesting that his rise to power had more to do with privilege than merit. While Sunny's supporters praise her for speaking her mind, critics argue that her rhetoric often alienates large segments of the audience.
You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right.
So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms, and why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to deport, says he's going to deport the majority of...
But here's the thing. Sunny seems unfazed by the backlash. If anything, she appears to thrive on controversy, using it as a platform to amplify her opinions. Some might even say that her polarizing nature is part of her brand, keeping her relevant in an industry where staying in the spotlight is half the battle. However, it's worth asking, at what cost? With lawsuits piling up and audience approval wavering, Sunny's future on The View feels more uncertain than ever. Behind the scenes, the tension among Sunny's co-hosts is said to be palpable. While the show has always been a hotbed for heated debates, insiders claim that the recent controversies have created rifts within the panel. Some hosts reportedly feel that Sunny's legal troubles and divisive comments are overshadowing the show's original mission of fostering thoughtful discussion. There's a sense that Sunny's personal issues are bleeding into the show, one source revealed. It's becoming harder to separate her public persona from her role as a co-host. And let's not forget the producers, who are undoubtedly feeling the pressure. The View has always been about walking a fine line, pushing boundaries without crossing them. But with Sunny at the center of so many controversies, that line is becoming increasingly blurred. The question now is whether the show will continue to stand by her, or if they'll decide it's time for a change. For now, Sunny remains defiant, vowing to stand her ground no matter what. But as the legal battles intensify and the public scrutiny grows, it's clear that the stakes have never been higher.
You're right. Anytime she says something stupid, I'm gonna go, slave owner!
So where does this leave us? Sunny Hostin is undeniably a force to be reckoned with, a woman who isn't afraid to speak her mind no matter the consequences. But with lawsuits, co-host tensions, and audience backlash mounting, one has to wonder, is she playing with fire? And perhaps more importantly, how long can she keep this up before something or someone gives? As the drama unfolds, one thing is certain. Sunny's story is far from over, and we'll all be watching to see what happens next. What do you think? Is Sunny a fearless trailblazer or a polarizing figure who's gone too far? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to stay tuned for more updates on this ever-evolving saga.